to the ends of the earth. The Man Who Would Be King. Adapted from Rudyard Kipling's story by Mike Walker.
I once did a man a disservice. A damn fool thing to do for some men. It gives them a handle onto your life, so they think you have opened an account in their name, which they may draw on infinitely.
There he is, Peachey. I told you to be here. He's not the sort to lie about it.
You see, they were men between. Not of India, not of England, but somehow different. Dangerous men.
So that's him, is it, Danny boy? That's the fella.
I could have turned them away, but I didn't.
I tell you, Peachey, what did I say?
Because of what?
You said he was a man who smoked a good cigar, and he weren't tight with a whiskey and water neither. That's what you said, Dan Dravot.
Aye. A man what said, look me up if you're ever in the district.
Did I say that?
Something of the kind, I recall.
Then you better come on up, I suppose. I was just putting the paper to bed.
Tired, was it?
Shove a bung in it, Peachey. He means he was finishing up ready for printing. Him being in the way of a journalist, see?
Well, as long as he can afford a cigar.
I am actually quite busy. The paper...
I mind if we sit down? Just a moment or two.
Take the weight off him.
You were saying the paper, the same you wrote that piece in, warning folk about a couple of fellows trying to make a penny or two. Confidence men, I believe you was calling them.
I just report the news.
Nah, if you'll excuse me. I think you was reporting that little chat we had a few months back when we was both in the same carriage and the same train. That private conversation.
Just half hour and a little advice. Nothing untoward, like, seeing as we're all on the square here, eh?
Well, you get all sorts in the Masons, it seems.
And you knew it then. Which didn't stop you writing that piece in the paper that labelled your brother Masons as...
Confidence men.
A whiskey, then. A cigar. Here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. Go on, Lucifer.
Here you are.
Where's he gone, then?
Get a whiskey, what you think? Now, don't get on your high horse. The contract ain't started yet.
Just so as we both know, when it does, you stick by it, Danny.
Brothers both.
Well?
First things first. Introductions. Brother Peachey Carnehan.
At your service.
Me, you know, if you remember.
I'd hardly forget that red beard of yours. Dravot. Daniel Dravot.
Soldiers, sailors,
Tinkers, tailors, rich men sometimes.
poor men, beggar men. I'll even admit to it sometimes.
But never the yet thieves.
Here. Water's warm, no ice.
Your elf. Oh. Hot night, but then they're all hot nights.
Let me talk now, Peachey.
Go on, then.
The thing is, this India ain't got room enough for such men as me and Peachey here. Oh, we've done this and that.
That and this.
But most everywhere we've been, there it is. The government. Queen and bloody country. The civil bloody service. Fellas like you, no disrespect, writing their bloody newspapers and leaving no room for fellas who's got a bit of ambition.
Ambition for what?
Why, to be kings in our own country.
You're serious, aren't you?
We're either serious, or mad, or drunk.
And we ain't drunk, because we signed a contract. No more booze once we set out.
And we plainly ain't mad, so...
Set out.
For our kingdom. In the Hindu Kush, top right-hand corner of Afghanistan. They call it Kafiristan. Land of the...
Unbelievers.
They worship idols there. Decent Muslims hate them.
Would like to wipe them off the face of the earth.
Only they can't. Too many mountains. And these fellas are fierce fighters. And the women, they say, are beautiful beyond measure.
I think you are drunk and mad. Who says?
It's what I heard when I was there with Roberts and his army back in 1880. Escape at the skin of our teeth, we did. We ran. The great British army got its arse kicked. And I swore one day I'll go back and see what kind of men could do that.
Only remember the contract, Danny. No booze and no women.
You'll be cut to pieces before you're 50 miles across the border. You'll never reach your land of idols.
He knows the roads, Dan does. Once we get far enough northwest.
So what do you need me for?
The books. Whatever you got in your newspaper library on them idol worshippers. And maps to get us to the mountains. The rest we can do.
You can leave us overnight. We do our reading and be gone, and if you like, you can come and say goodbye at the Sarai tomorrow evening.
Oh, you can trust us with your maps and books. We're all brothers in the craft here, and I ain't betrayed no confidences.
He was right. I had betrayed a confidence and published a warning about them in the paper. Maybe I owed them something for it. Maybe I was just curious. This story looked like being a sight more interesting than my usual diet of soirees, promotions, marriages, and tea parties. Oh, I was content enough. The paper had given me a job, a home, something I'd never really had before. But... The Sarai, the great sink of humanity where all the peoples of Central Asia meet, and you can buy ponies and rough diamonds and rubies and fat sheep.
Man is blown by the breath of 100 devils. Arms for a pilgrim. See how the paper flowers dance.
Nothing that can be had is not to be had in the Sarai. And there I went to see if those two adventurers...
Excuse me. And blessings upon you, Effendi, and upon the flowers you walk upon, and upon the alms you shower upon a poor pilgrim.
Enough, Holy Father. I have other business here today. Take this, and blessings on your...
Blessings be showered upon you, Psalm of Psalms, an editor of the Bungalow Weekly Journal.
You? Is it you?
And if the worthy Effendi, the great Saab, the sharp-eyed journalist, will come a little along the road, I will sell thee a charm such as will let an unworthy man see clear to paradise. What do you think about that, then?
I have to admit, you look the part, and more or less for a mad fellow. Sound it, too.
Oh, don't he, though?
What happened to the beard?
Under my robes, isn't it? You see, Peachey never picked up the lingo as well as me. I've been knocking about for 14 years, and I've always had a good ear.
That's why Mr. Carnehan is the mule driver.
You got it, mister. I'm the one does the heavy lifting round here.
You're selling trinkets. Can't see paper flowers and charms doing you much good.
Charms nothing. Whoa! Voila. 20 Martini Henrys. Best rifle available today. There is nothing the hill folk wouldn't give for one of them, trust me.
It'd certainly cut your throats for 20, trust me.
Well, that's the chance we take, isn't it, Danny boy?
It is, Peachey.
Not a chance I'd take.
No, you wouldn't, would you? You're a decent enough cove and give us a space for a night. But I don't reckon you've got any darkness in your soul yet. Maybe it'll come with time. Maybe not. It's what drives a man on in this world. Makes him take chances others wouldn't.
And if they don't come right, the chances?
Oh, that's the thing of it, ain't it just? Putting your last guinea on a turn of pitch and toss. Win or lose. Having the guts to do that. Help!
Did you find what you needed in the books?
Devils and idols. Some say a bit of the old square and all.
You say what?
Not us. United Service Institute report, 1878. A survivor of the First Afghan War, a Mason, lost in the mountains. He passed on his beliefs to this tribe, and they become Holy Writ. That's what it says.
And what if what it says is a load of rubbish?
Then I say thank the Lord for the Martini Henry, and we'll shoot our way out. Hey, Danny boy.
It's not your priest who's mad, it's you. It's both of you.
It ain't you needs to worry then, is it? Because it ain't you taking a chance, is it? You don't think we'll pass muster?
You look well enough. And you at least, Mr. Dravot, sound it.
So, you wish us luck then?
God knows what I should wish you.
Then I'll tell you what, we'll shake hands and be on our way.
Oh, wait, here. Have this. A watch charm. It's a compass. You might need it.
Oh. Engraved with the sign of the square. One motion to another, eh? Keep us on the straight and narrow.
You can return it when you're done.
When we're done, we'll be kings. And you can write our story, eh?
Because a man without a story ain't nothing at all in this world.
Up! Goodbye, Mr. Carnehan. Mr. Dravot.
Oh, and we left a copy of our contract for you to look after.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Get a boy.
I stood there and watched them fade into the heat haze until they were lost entirely. And then I went back to my office and looked at the piles of old issues of the paper and thought of their adventures and my years ahead and the further piles that would be added as my life faded away like old ink in the Indian sun. The contract they left was a strange document.
This contract between me and you, in the name of God, amen, and so forth. 1. We will settle this matter together to be kings of Kafiristan.
That while this matter's being settled, we will not look at any woman, black, white or brown.
That we will not touch alcohol of any nature or kind.
That we will, whatever the cost, stand by each other if any harm should fall. Signed by us this day, Peachey Tolliver Carnehan
And Daniel Dravot.
Both
gentlemen at large.
I put it in a drawer and forgot about it for 2-3 years. I was busy with yet another report of an amusing incident at a hill station, or a visit by a nabob with barely space to write what I hoped I had within me. Though I didn't know it, I was just passing time. And then, out of the darkness came
A stone. Who would throw it?
a small compass, a Masonic charm from a pocket watch. My charm.
Can you give me a drink? For the Lord's sake, give me a drink!
Who are you? Show yourself. Come out of the dark. Where did you get this?
From out of the night shuffled a beggar. One of the meanest I've ever seen, and I've seen a few. Crippled, shaking with fever, hugging a filthy sack to his chest.
Who are you? What do you want? Have a care. Have a stout stick here. There's nothing for you to...
Don't you know me?
I know you'd best be on your way. Here, a rupee.
I've come back. And I was the king of Kafiristan. Me and Danny Dravot, kings we was. And we settled it here on your veranda with your books and maps. And I and Peachey, Tolliver Carnehan, and you were sitting here ever since. Now you give me whiskey, if you have any mercy in your soul.
You can't be.
Whiskey! Whiskey, man.
Yes, of course. Come on, come up. I'll help you. Come up.
When we was kings, we make it a large one, if you don't mind.
Is it really you?
True as gospel. And kings we were, with crowns upon our head, me and Dravot. Poor Dan, who wouldn't never take no advice, not though I begged him.
You got across the border, through the pass then? Take your time. Tell me. On your hand, that scar, diamond-shaped. What does it mean?
That'll come later. For now, listen if that's what you want.
In that moment, I could have called for a doctor, had him admitted to hospital. God knows he needed it. But he had something I wanted badly. So I said, "Tell me your story, Mr. Carnehan."
Well, we went through the Great Pass, and then we turned north.
Whoa! Right. Get them Mohammedan duds off you now, Peachey, and cut your beard.
What? Off?
No! Cut it like a mad hedge. Like a devil worshipper might wear it, but not never like a respectable Muslim. They don't speak to Muslims in the mountains. They cut their throats. Hey, and that old army jacket you got in your pack?
Put it on?
Put it on. Any medals you nicked and all?
We'll be looking mad as a bunch of hyenas, Danny.
And to my reckoning, that'll do just about right, Peachey.
We went on for 2 days, into the mountains.
Come on, damn you! Give me a push!
Bloody mules! Disobliging sods!
Oh, here we go. Grab your rifle, Peachey. Get down, outside.
Hey! Anything?
Nothing. But they're out there somewhere.
It's bloody bows and arrows.
Northeast, under the overhang, in the shadow. And across 10 yards where the gully begins.
Hold on. Yeah, I got them. 4 men.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Any coming round behind us?
No, they don't fight like that.
Hold on. There's more up there.
Ah, you seen that too, have you? 3, 4 fellas roped and tied.
Prisoners.
I'd say so. And from the look of them, they're all devil worshippers.
So what's the plan, Danny boy?
I reckon we saves them poor beggars what's tied up, Peachey. Like a couple of good fellas.
Right. Easy enough shots.
Easy enough.
They're running.
Don't let them.
Don't mean to. 4 bullets, 4 men down.
Yeah.
I tell you, Danny boy, we are deaf on legs, you and me, pure deaf on legs.
So, let's go receive the grateful thanks of them what we saved from slavery or worse. This is the beginning of the business. But keep your eyes skinned. And one in the breach, Peachey.
Oh, yes, Danny.
You rescued the prisoners.
That we did. Untied them. Had to sort one fella out. He must have reckoned we really was devils come to take his soul. So Danny knocks him down, then lifts him up and pats him down. And, and I gives him a drink of water. After drinking myself to show it ain't poison, and then we kicked the dead men a bit, and our new mates was pleased as punch. And we walked them down the mountain to our dead mules.
Smadostano desan nakuna tagawari. Mustazan gwagwari. A musta sinaworo. Judicina kuna awasni. Show 'em, Peachey. Untie the boxes. Get them loaded on our new subjects.
Subjects, Danny? Ain't you being a bit forward in your expectations here?
A king without ambitions is no kind of king, to my way of thinking. Darawaklis, Madostono, and Mokortabuzi. Take us home. The son of man goes forth to war, a golden crown to gain. His blood-red banner streams afar, who follows in his train.
Have a care, mate. You're bringing avalanche down on us.
We are the Avalanche, Peachey, so we are.
It was different when we got to the village. No more singing then. We walked through, silent like, not a sound, not a soul to be seen. Only we knowed they was there, looking at us.
All or nothing now, Peachey. Stand straight. Remember, he was a soldier of the Queen.
Before we got cashiered.
True, true. Zwanano, Sando Kona, La Decree. What'd you make of that there temple, then?
Well, I'd say it was a temple.
And then there folk coming out of it?
Priests. I could smell a priest from a mile away, always could.
And the big fella with the big old gun?
Now that is a big old gun.
Nah, Peachey. It's a big old gun. Muzzle loader. Waterloo vintage, I'd say.
Dan.
Definitely Waterloo. When I'm talking to this fine gent, you get your rifle and half a dozen shells, right?
You're not thinking of
You'll
Christ.
find out what I'm thinking now. Here we go. Peachey. All right, Chief. Tadador, halgo masharir. Zededia, nakani stapabua.
Now, to cut a long story short, or make a confusing one plain, since Danny had the lingo almost like a native and I picked it up pretty soon, matter of survival you could say, and since I'm sitting on your veranda drinking your whiskey, then between friends like, I'll just say, we was able to talk to the chief easy enough man to man. There weren't no space between us, we understood each other, d'you see?
No illusions, no lies.
All the people like us is we, and everyone else is they.
I am not like you, Mr. Carnehan.
Ain't you, Mr. Kipling? Living over the office, is you? Not got a real home to go back to? Danny used to call it being a cold earth wanderer. Oh, I ain't a fool. I can see what I see. You ain't so different to me and Dan. All of us is trying to get by in this world with no one to help us but ourselves.
Another whiskey. Go on.
So, as to say, we understood each other, the chief and us. And he says,
Why have you come here? Why are my people carrying your load? You have neither mules nor camels.
And neither is we believers in the word of the prophet, as I hope you can see.
I see 2 men. I see no more.
Ask your people. These same people that we saved from slavery, or worse, this very morning. Ask them who we are, and you will see we are friends.
he did, and they told him straight.
Oh, Chief of Men. Peachey, you ready? Tell your priests we mean you no harm. Observe, by the well there, beyond the farthest end of the village. How many arrows' flight?
4,
And do your keen eyes see the pots there?
3.
Blimey, it's a bit of a reach.
3 pots, 3 shells, rapid, Peachey. You was always boasting about your accuracy on the range. Let's see it now. Go! Yes. Outstanding, Mr. Carnehan.
Could have warned me.
I don't want to make you nervous. Now, sling me the rifle. I present this to you, O Chief of Men. With it, and its brothers, you shall become leader of a great many more men, as shall we. What do you say?
I say the Martini Henry is indeed worthy of all that has been told of it. I shall tell them to bring you food and drink.
Be damned to your food and drink.
Danny, are you mad?
I will eat no food that don't come from the hand of the chief of his people. Let him serve me.
It was all or nothing. The way my heart was beating, I reckon it was nothing. Only I was wrong.
Then I shall serve you. And we shall shake hands upon it like men do.
Bloody hell, Dan.
You shake hands, and I say go too.
Dan, what is it? What's so funny?
Everything. Every darn thing is peachy.
Dan wouldn't say no more till evening. Oh, the tribe seemed happy enough to have us around, and they gave us a decent hut to use. Well, come on, Danny boy. Out with it. You've been grinning like a cove with the winner's ticket for the derby in his hatband ever since we got here.
No, Peachy. Ever since I shook his hand and got a look at what them priests was wearing.
Robes.
And aprons.
What, they do the cooking? I mean, I ain't seen a woman under 80 since we got here, but that's a bit severe, isn't it?
Shake my hand, Peachy.
What?
My hand. Like we was meeting for the first time.
All right.
Well,
Well, what?
a handshake. We're both Masons, right? So when we shake, we use the old grip so as we know, right?
Right.
And that, my friend, is the very same grip what our new brother, the chief out there, give me when we shook. Just like them aprons the priest is wearing his Masonic aprons.
The old book was right then.
Looks like it.
So they won't shoot us?
More than that, Peachey. I want more than that. Our chief, our brother in the craft, Timuk, is a big man in these mountains. He has ambitions.
So why can't we just settle down and...
We ain't kings yet. Brother, welcome.
Twice welcome.
Shake his hand, the old way, Peachey.
Brother Daniel, you say you can solve these problems between us and the sons of the goat who despoil the valley.
I can, Timuk. Are they also followers of the craft?
As are all in these mountain ranges.
Then I say there will be peace. What's come between you?
A girl was taken by our people.
Is she married yet?
Not yet.
Then she will be returned.
Next day we saddles up, with Timuk at the head of his people, the stolen girl well swathed, and me and Dan on either side of him, we rides out. And believe me, nothing happens in them mountains that everyone don't know. And the sons of the goat was waiting for us at the high pass, swords glittering and murder in their eyes. But Danny Dravot, he just rides up, slips off his mule, and walks forward with a sword in one hand and a Martini Henry in the other.
I am Daniel. I've come amongst you to settle a dispute by the laws of the Brotherhood.
I reckon they must have thought either we was stark raving mad or he was what he said he was. Thing was, which way would it go? He hands me the rifle and...
I am Daniel. Listen to me. Let any who disagree hold out his fist like so.
There's a pause. The crowd opens, and this mountain steps forward and sticks his fist in Danny's face. And Danny cuts it off.
He is not worthy. Take him away.
They didn't like that. But they respected a man with balls of pure iron.
You are the chief man here.
Picked him out easy enough. Fella was wearing a gold circlet round his head with a seal of Solomon on. He comes forward.
I bow to you, and I shake your hand in the old way.
Gave him face, gave him grace, made him look like the bee's knees to his tribe, and then gave him the girl back.
I draw this line in the sand between your two villages. Let not the people stray across it, and let them listen well to the wisdom of Brother Peachey here, who will...
What? Danny, what are you saying?
Train you in the use and deployment of these here 6 rifles. Is this still going on? Peachey! I have the power and the craft. If you stand by me, then I'll stand by you. And you, Chief, must judge your people fairly. If you do not, then...
I raised his rifle to the sky.
I will be angry.
By sheer guts, by standing there, by making them believe in him, Dan Dravot. Oh, the masonry helped, but it was him what did it. Where did that come from? That infernal cheek. Dan always reckoned he learnt it right here in India. After all, how'd a few raggedy pirates arrive out of nowhere and steal a bloody great country like this one? That's what he said as he went off, leaving me there.
Teach them how to march, how to defile, and stand, and fire, and drill. In any place they fight, a man who can do that will always be a king.
You can't just leave me, mate.
Kingdoms don't come for nothing, Peachey. Teach them. Don't never let them know you don't know. Confidence is all. We're making an army here.
What, with 6 bloody rifles?
Share them out. Let them all learn. And there will be more rifles, that I promise you.
What you got up your sleeve, Danny boy? What ain't you telling me? Ain't we supposed to be partners?
Good luck, Peachey Carnehan. Next time we meet, we'll be well on our ways to being kings. Beautiful.
Maybe
Maybe what I should have done was head out on my mule for the way home. But I didn't. I meant to be a king. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Left, right, no, not that way, this way, that's it. Right, now, stop! What the reggie? Stop! God, you lot is useless. God help us. All right, right, raise, porta yekra, wagora. Right, now this, into here. In. See? Now, bang! Nukhan barabaka, ordas wakra. Load, point, and... No, not that way! No!
Didn't take me long to pick up the lingo pretty good. After all, I was saving my life.
Good. Now, turn. That's it, boys. That's it, me buckos, and halt. And present. And load. And aim. And fire! And reload. Bloody hell, what's that?
Strangers. They come, Mr. Peachey.
From where?
Different valley. Strangers.
Right. Looks like we get to show them what we can do sooner than I reckoned. Reload! Reload, lads. Quickly now. Move it! Form a line. Ready your rifles. Aim. Pick a target.
There must have been a couple of hundred of them along the ridge, standing against the sky. Desperate band they was too. Hardly one who didn't have blood marked on his forehead.
Steady, lads. Steady.
Then one fella steps out.
We are come from Daddy. We greet you, Peachey Carnehan. Daddy tells us, go enter the kingdom and Peachey will train you in the wisdom of the Martini Henry.
Daddy? You're from Daddy? What in the blood?
The mark of Daddy, huh?
Bloody hell! Well, we better get to it then, haven't we? Lads, what I taught you is gonna teach these fellas. We're all brothers now in the kingdom, I reckon. And so it goes.
And so, after a couple of months, Peachey's army made the march across the pass to our old quarters in Timuk's village. Well, at least I thought it was an army till I saw what Dan Dravot had waiting for us. Danny never was a man to waste his time.
Halt!
When we arrived, the village was empty of men. We waited and waited. And there he was, a-coming down from the high pass, his red beard like, so help me, like fire. And behind him 1,000 men, maybe 2,000, I don't know. And they comes on and on, like the sunlight coming over the mountains at dawn. Unstoppable. Magnificent.
Peachey, my man, you done it.
Nah, what I've got's an handful. What you've got's an army.
You done your job, mate, and done it straight.
This is him, Sharp. He's the chief, and my right-hand man.
Him Sharp, I welcome you. I give you and your men a great gift to celebrate our friendship. Come, my friend, come. You too, Peachey. I want you to see this.
Look, Danny, I train these lads of mine to shoot fast and accurate, but having to share 6 rifles between them...
Didn't I tell you to trust me? I won't let you down. Kings need armies, Peachey, and we have ours.
Yeah, and all armies need is Martini Henrys, which we...
Have in their hundreds, Mr. Carnehan. All right now, lads. You can put them down. What's them in front of your eyes?
Boxes.
Full of rifles, my friend. Boxes full of beautiful rolled brass cartridges.
You beauty!
As we used to say in Rotherhithe, looks like Danny brought him the bacon, eh? Hey? Hey!
This time I was housed in the temple. Old and solid. Must have gone back thousands of years. And I was better able to talk with Timuk. While outside, Danny and his priests, they were his priests now, set up some business for the evening.
It is good to see you back, friend Peachey.
Aye. It seems to me, Timuk, Danny's made some changes round here.
Change. What is change? Your people have sent 2 great armies within the memory of my grandfather. Thousands of men and mules and great guns. Where are they, all those thousands? What do you see?
I see the mountains.
You see the mountains. And man is no more than the shadow of a lizard running across a rock at midday.
And kings?
Kings are what men believe them to be. And belief is as solid as the mountain peaks or as frail as the mists that are burnt off them by the morning sun. They are here and not here.
Well, I say Danny and me's pretty much here.
So you are.
And the guns is pretty much here. Where'd they come from?
The Amir's workshops in Kabul. Bought with gold from the temple.
Gold? You got gold?
Yes. Now, rest, eat.
What's he got planned, Timuk?
Who knows that, friend Peachey? If not you.
Got fed, did you, Peachey?
I got fed, Dan, but I got a few questions.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be tremendous, this king business.
So you really is going to...
Tonight will seal it. For both of us. Look, Peachey, I've been out these past 2 months with Timuk's boys. He comes into a village, lines up the priests and the chief and the elders and, well, business is soon settled.
You mean you shoot a few, Danny?
Only those as is truculent. And word spreads even in this place. They come in a line when they sees we're serious men with serious arms.
It's a bit of a thing.
No. They're killing dozens of each other through tribal disputes every month. All we're doing is bringing them the benefits of the British way of thinking. Power and peace, Peachey.
Well, they don't get much of a choice. Not against the old Martini Henry.
Who does in this world? Besides, we've done the persuading. Now we're getting to the benefits. The craft's the trick, believe me. You can shoot a man, but that means nothing compared to persuading him you is their lawful ruler.
And what are the benefits of peace for us, Dan?
Gold. Garnets. I kicked them out of the sand. They even got gold coins with young Vicky's head on them from the First War. They got it all here, matey, and they got nothing to buy with it.
Unlike us.
Get these studs on.
What are they?
Aprons. Caps. The signs of the craft.
You know it's against the law holding meetings of the craft without authority. And neither of us ever held any office at all.
Haven't you twigged it yet, Peachey? Out here, we is the law. I've 40 chiefs who believe my word is it. Now get 'em on.
It was quite a show Dan Dravot put on that night. He comes out in his apron and regalia, walks forward and stands between these great fires a-burning. And the priests start up with a chanting and holding up a sacred banner with a sign of Solomon on it. And then Dan goes mad, rips off his jacket and his shirt and stands there in the flames. His chest pale and tattooed on it, the self-same seal of Solomon the King.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by my own hand, I declare myself Grand Master. of all Freemasonry in Kafiristan, in this master lodge of the country, and King of Kafiristan, equally with Peachey, by virtue of this crown I place upon my own head, and this crown I place upon the head of Peachey Carnehan. Step forward, Brother Carnehan, and be a king.
He crowned himself, and he crowned you.
He did it, and I saw it. Aye. And I felt the weight of that gold crown on my head. Now, mine was smaller than his, but I was a king.
Wake up, man. Go on. Here. Have another. Your hand. I know you said that you'd tell me later, but...
Nothing. Now, don't look at it. Just look at me, because this... When we was kings, what was it Timuk said? King is like the mountain peak. And I tell you one thing. There's only one way you can go from the peak. Now, for a year or more, it was good. Me and Dan had our own kingdoms to run. Laws to oversee, disputes to settle. We'd meet up every few months, chat things over, hold a lodge meeting. Welcome new citizens of our growing nation. Oh, they respected me, but Dan they treated like a god.
We've raised another 2 chiefs and half a dozen priests to junior wardens in the craft, and Timuk to senior warden.
What's the idea, Dan? I mean, so what? It's only words. We ain't got no real authority as Masons. Tell the honest truth, I was only a tiler for a couple of weeks before they threw me out for... Well, they threw me out.
Oh, you've got a black dog, Peachey. I can see that. You're missing home, are you?
I've never had one to miss, Dan. You know that. You and me, we're family, aren't we? I mean, what about us cashing in? All that gold, them jewels...
Because this isn't the end of our journey. We're not halfway yet. Look at Rajar Brook in Sarawak. He stole a country just like us.
Yeah, and then he got it recognised by the government, and... Bloody hell, Dan Dravot. What have you got in mind?
What one pirate can do, so can a couple of others. What we got here in these mountains is an empire. There's hundreds of villages, tribes, clans we ain't found yet, but we will, and we'll bring them in, we'll buy more rifles, drill them, train them up. We'll talk to the Viceroy. He'll talk to us, Peachey. We'll get a dispensation from the Grand Lodge.
Have you lost your mind? This is us.
No, it's you, Peachey. What can't see it? These mountains have made you see small, while Danny Dravot sees the whole world.
I've done all I could. Probably more than I should.
Don't get me wrong. You're a king and all. Couldn't have done it without you. But after this winter, I'll be sending messages to some of them clever types I need. Smarter men than us, mate. But we'll use them to make this thing of ours.
I wish you was joking, Dan. But I see that you ain't. What's Timuk say about it?
You won't have nothing to say about it. This is my decision. That, and I reckon with the snows coming, I'll be taking a wife. Fella needs a wife in the winter. There are some beautiful women here when you get the chance to see them. I'd advise you to do the same.
What about the contract? No booze, no women, each for the other.
This ain't a woman, it's a wife. A queen to found a dynasty.
Even if it weren't again the contract, it's too early, too soon. Too big a chance they won't stand for it.
They'll stand for the king, or they'll be shot down for the king. Trust me, Peachey.
But I didn't know if I did. We'd stuck to that contract. No booze, no women, being straight with each other, and now... I talked to Timuk about it. I had to.
Your flocks have multiplied, Timuk.
Many good things have come since you came to us.
Snows will be coming soon.
As they have, these ages.
Fires will be lit, and the people will stay in their homes.
As you say.
It's our second winter.
Yes.
And,
And?
This idea of Dan's, of the King's,
Yes.
to take a wife.
You are worried?
Are you, Timuk? I'm a friend. So a straight answer.
How should the daughters of men marry God? Or devil?
He's a king, Timuk, not a god.
From the times before time, our kings have been gods. Why else should we give them our loyalty? What use is a sword without a keen blade? What use is a king who cannot walk with the gods as an equal, on behalf of the people? Friend Peachey, make him give this up, for nothing good will come of it. That wind comes from the peaks where the gods dwell.
I've said it before, Timuk, he's not a god. I don't believe in gods.
But the gods, Peachey Connor, the gods believe in us, and they play with us as children throw knuckle bones.
Let me by, Peachey. My people are waiting for
For the
me.
last time, Dan, drop it. Timuk says there'll be trouble. Everyone says there'll be trouble.
Don't you know? That's what kings do. They settle trouble. And let me by. My people are waiting. I have to see the Queen.
You haven't seen her?
Chosen by lot. They tell me she's a beauty, Peachey. You're a fool if you don't get a wife too. Call up the chiefs. Call up the priests. The king wishes to see his bride. Bring her up. Bring her up.
They brought her up, and she was beautiful. In silks, and silver, and gold. Her hair shining in the firelight. A bride fit for a king who was a god. But she looked like she believed she was to be joined to death himself.
She'll do. What's to be afraid of, lass? Come, kiss me. Kiss your king.
He pulls her close,
Eh?
and
She bit me! She bit me! I'm bleeding, goddammit! I'm bleeding!
there are moments when everything changes, and you can feel the whole world turn. God help me, but I could feel it then.
Peachey! Friend, take him. Get him out of here, now! Hurry! My men will hold them, but only for so long. Go! If you wish to live, go!
Get out of the way! Move it! Get out of it!
She bit me, Peachey!
We have to get out of here. Hurry!
I'm a king!
Timuk will hold him back.
I'm a bloody king! I can't! Oh, I won't! Oh, I'm king! I'm king! It's your fault, Peachey. We're not looking after your army better. Mutiny. It was mutiny, and you didn't know. You bloody layabout. You useless damn carcass. You never had the guts nor the brain to do nothing for
I'm
yourself.
sorry, Dan. There's no accounting for how things turn out.
She bit me, the bitch.
Hold it. Someone's coming.
God, well, I'd give for a martini, Henry, right now.
No. Wait. Oh, it's Timuk.
Good. With his men, we can do something. We can take it all back. Shoot a few, knock a few heads, loosen a few teeth. Oh, I'll soon be back, so I will. So I will. Will.
Friend Dan. Friend Peachey.
You got away, then? What about your men?
In the defile, there. Out of the wind.
Aye. It's damn cold. The sooner we get back to the village, the better. Timuk?
The girl was scared. She bit you.
That's all. Maybe bleed a bit. Nothing worse than that.
Gods don't bleed.
Look, man, it's clotted. There's nothing.
There's a story about a holy man who lives somewhere in the mountains. They say that he can lift a stone. Hold it up and take his hand away, and the stone will stay there in the air. So strong is his belief. But without belief, it's just a stone. The God King doesn't bleed. You did. So, just a man. It's over, Dan Dravot.
Well then, Timuk, are you with us?
I'm with my people. With the mountains.
Just the two of us then, Danny boy. Against the world. Like it always was.
Stand down, Peachey. This ain't your fight anymore.
We got an agreement.
Aye, and I broke it, and you stood by it. Drop the rock, mate. Drop it, Peachey. Timuk? For old time's sake, then. I don't fancy being torn apart by all lads.
A man deserves a good death. I owe you that much.
Well and all, we had a damn fine run for our money, and now it's time to pay for the ticket. After all them Martini Henrys, it still comes down to a sword. I hope the blade's good and sharp, Timuk.
Sharp enough.
And you'll go back?
I will go back, and things will be as they were. As they should be. But perhaps sometimes round the fire at night, stories will be told about the man who would be king.
Well, shake me hand. No hard feelings, Peachey, Tolliver, Carnehan.
It's wrong, Dan. We should be together.
No, mate. This is on me. All right, let's do this. No one will say Danny Dravot couldn't die like a king. The Son of Man goes forth to war, golden crown to gain, his blood red.
That's the last of it.
Well and all. It's the last of Peachey, Tolliver, Carnehan.
What happened to you? To your hands?
They crucified me. Used wooden pegs. Let me hang from a tree, howling for 3 days. Timuk said it was all he could do for me. Then he turned me loose in the snows and told me to go home. Took us a year to get back. And then we realised we had no home to go to.
No one stopped you on the road?
Nah. Danny knew the way. He knew all the tricks. Always did.
Come on, Peachey. It's a big thing we're doing over here.
But Dan was dead.
Danny Dravot dead? Nah. Why, him and me, we have roads to travel, yeah. You want to see him? The God King? In his golden crown?
God in heaven, man.
Timuk give it me. After he cut it off. After all, we was mates, eh? Oh, Timuk come out of it all right. Reckon he knew he would from the start. Chief of the old bloody valley, I heard. Now, me and Dan, we've a way to go, the two of us.
Wait.
No. I told my story. We was kings once, we was, eh, Danny? The Son of Man goes forth to war, a golden crown to gain.
his blood-red banner streams afar, who follows in his train.
He was right. There was no reason to stay. He told his story, and he was done. I watched him go into the pale light of dawn and vanish like a ghost. And me? Like Dan and Peachey, I was a man between, not of India, not of England. I had come to a mooring at the paper, but I wanted something more. Did I have the courage to risk my last guinea on one turn of pitch and toss, win or lose, to take the chance and throw it all up and write what I knew was within me to write? What's a man without a story in this world? And by God, this was one of the best I ever heard.
In The Man Who Would Be King, adapted from Rudyard Kipling's story by Mike Walker, Kipling was played by Blake Ritson. Daniel Dravot was played by Richard Ridings, and Peachey Carnehan by Samuel James. Timuk was played by Peter Polycarpou, and other parts by Joseph Ayre, Stephen Hogan, Lauren Cornelius, Ryan Early, John Lightbody, and Ryan Whittle. The director was Abigail Fleming.